and then I'll cast it up with you, and then I have the rest of my night. I mean, it is what it is. I already knew I was gonna be locked down inside this little cave I got with them classes and anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I really all I need is them two classes to finish up my bachelor, so I gotta go ahead and get it out the way.
I feel that.
I don't know if
I,
it's just me, but I can hear me echo.
I can't hear
But
you echo on my end.
it's gone now. But for a second, when I was talking, like faintly, I could hear it trying to echo me. But it's all good.
I can hear your fan a little bit, but
You
it
say that every time.
ain't. It ain't obnoxious.
Well, that's got to be noise. I just muted myself, and you just said it ain't obnoxious.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't hear it then. I couldn't hear it then. I knew when you muted.
See if I put this windscreen over this way a little, would that help? Will that help? What up, Brandon? What up, Rich?
Fellas, what up, Joe? Hit that share button for your boy right quick.
He hit it. I need to post a reel. I'm glad I ain't accept that invite just yet, but I need to get on it.
It's time.
Yeah, I do. That's what I was waiting for. I figured that one video was gonna help take me over.
Good looking out, Brandon. I appreciate you, bro. Actually, I did see that. I
Yeah.
forgot I saw that. All right. You studied up, bro? You ready?
Ready. I wouldn't say study. It's definitely
Oh,
freestyle.
come on.
But I just told you what my day like. How in the hell you gonna say come on? At least I looked at the shit. I mean, damn. But he said studied up like I'm supposed to have a full written, you know what I'm saying, synopsis to this shit.
I expect you to have a 5-page essay. I
Like,
expect you.
listen, listen. This intensive writing class only asking for three, brother. Man, come on. Like it's gonna be five when I get citations and title page and all that. Oh man, you
All right.
tripping?
Let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome to What's Happening. I'm Brad.
I'm Fred.
It's a show we talk about what's happening. What's happening with you, bro?
Man, bro, I just got my ass handed to me in this middle school girls basketball game. Not too happy about it, but that's just what it is. And where I'm at, we don't. Most of our girls don't get to touch a ball till they come see us in middle school. So we always behind. When season start, these girls, some of these teams, boy, they pass that thing like this is some '70s ball. I'm talking about they don't touch the ground. They could move the whole court. I just be like, damn.
Man, you sound like Doc Rivers with all them excuses right now.
Nah, ain't no excuses, bro. Listen, if you watched enough, you know what I'm saying.
if you
Middle
watch,
school,
if you
middle
watch enough,
school, middle school, high school girls basketball. I'm pretty sure it's across the nation though, because it doesn't. I mean, you know how it goes. It don't get the same eye that the boys do, so it's
oh
not as
yeah,
much there for them. Like even here, with my daughter when she was younger, we didn't even have a girls' league. Like it was co-ed. You know what I mean? With
mm-hmm.
a rec league, and then when they went to school ball in elementary, the boys had basketball, but they didn't have a girls' side. And then when the girls wanted to play, they had to join the boys. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Nah, man, I'm giving you a hard time. I know. Listen, first off, I remember being in middle school myself, and the girls they were always the ones that were winning. The boys team wasn't doing much, and then
That's round your way.
I mean, but what I'm just saying is, in general, people don't give what I'm saying the women a chance, and like
No, I don't get it twisted because our girls they won too. You know what I mean? They wasn't like state or nothing like that, but they, you know what I'm saying? They still
but these girls be out here balling. That's what I'm saying. I know
for
these girls be
sure.
out here balling. I've
Back
said
in
this.
our day more than now. I say back in our day because pickup games was so heavy. Like girls ball harder and better back in our day than nowadays. I think, but I think they have more skill nowadays.
So I absolutely agree with you on the more skill. I've been saying this for years. I don't know if I've said this to you before or not, but if you like basketball in its purest form,
Girls
a,
ball.
a WNBA game is more likely to be a better game in its purest form than an NBA game. Now you don't get the dunks and you don't get the what I'm saying,
The highlight reel ain't
the
there, but if
highlight
you
reel,
want the fundamentals,
the
for the most
fundamentals.
part, yeah.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah.
will say you will see more turnovers though in a woman's game than in a man's game from just a standard pass perspective. So
Yeah, I think it just depends. But man, we got a
what's up
lot.
with you though, bro?
Oh man, yeah. What is happening with me, man? I'm in the middle of a stretch right now. So today was work day number 5 out of 9 consecutive. So I'm working all these days straight so I can take the weekend off. Why? Because I didn't go out of town in August like I planned on it, and my boss allows me to get a weekend off every month. So this is gonna be my weekend that I take off. But I'm planning it smart because see, I'm working these 9 days straight. I'm taking the weekend off. Then next week I'm gonna work 5 days straight, and then I'll take my September weekend off. Why would you take 2 weekends off in a row, Bradley? Because I'm gonna get Labor Day off because it's Labor Day. So, and then Labor Day, our work week starts on Monday.
You always scheming. Oh,
Always scheming.
Keenan and Kale ass.
Always scheming, right? So after I work these 9, I'm gonna take my weekend off. I'm gonna work 5, and then I'm gonna get 5 days off.
You always got a plan. I
Always,
already
bro.
I already knew. I already knew. But hey, enjoy your time. What you doing for? You going anywhere, or you just gonna be with the fam, just chilling?
No, I'm gonna be with the fam, chilling, man, taking care of stuff. The kids start school right after Labor Day, so we'll be working on that. And no, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm going to go down south sometime in September. I don't know when that happens. So for our live listeners or for our live viewers on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, first off, thank you and welcome to Whus Hattnin. Second off, if you regularly watch us at sometime in September, we ain't gonna have no videos because we already did a bunch of extras. If you're a podcast listener, that means absolutely nothing to you. We will hit your podcast feed every Wednesday at 6 a.m. It's guaranteed, even if it's just me saying what's happening. So stay tuned with that. But man, we got a big docket for today, and I don't know that we will touch everything. Man, Rich gonna say some WNBA is born. Rich, you tripping?
Bruh, look, I ain't say nothing. I don't have the disclaimer that Bradley usually have, but pretty
Hey,
much Rich's views is not the views of what's
Rich is,
happening.
Rich is in the comments today, so we ain't got to give him no disclaimer today. Go ahead and be yourself, Rich. All right, but man, we got a big docket. So first off, this happened about a week and a half ago. Man, comedian Teddy Ray died on Friday the 12th. Yeah, Friday, August 12th. Teddy Ray died. I don't know if you watch Teddy Ray or if you know who he is.
I really don't, but it might be one of those things where if I seen him, you know what I'm
Well,
saying, I would probably know him, but
let me help
maybe
you.
not.
Let me help you out because I know you know this skit. You've seen the skit where you've seen the guy going, "What you doing with all that ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon." I know you've seen that skit.
Probably not, but his face looked familiar. I just looked him up.
What,
Man, you know I don't be into,
bruh?
man. He said, bruh, if it ain't one of the, what I'm saying, one of the greats or something that, everybody know, I probably don't. I'm not big into names and
Oh
people,
man.
but, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Rest in peace to him. Did he die in the, you know what I'm saying, act, or was it just like natural causes? I mean,
So his official cause of death has yet to be determined,
not
but
me, Rich.
but he was found in a pool. I don't know what you're saying to Rich, um, but he was found in a pool. So right now they're saying it's an apparent drowning, but you know the official cause of death hasn't been confirmed yet. So it might just be a drowning. They said there's no apparent signs of foul play. But we've been waiting on another update for about a week or so. So man, hopefully we'll see that. But man, he was young. He was 32. Man, I'm telling you, like, dude was hilarious, bro. He has this. So I found him watching All Def Digital. I used to watch a whole lot of All Def Digital on YouTube, years ago. And he would just be in so many different scenes. They would do like their roast me show. That was hilarious. They did this one show that I liked a lot. They didn't keep going. It was called Bad News. It's something me and you would do. Just be hilarious. They'd be in front of each other, but they pretend to be calling each other with bad news. And yeah, dude, like he did this one joke where he was talking to Doughboy, and he said, "We don't care if you're stalking Viola Davis." But, like, you can't be coming at her talking about some A baby girl. Man, it's hilarious. Dude was absolutely hilarious in everything he did. His skits, his stand-ups, and to be dead at 32 is sad. But, we'll eventually find out what the official cause of death is.
Will we?
We will. Hopefully it won't be, foul play. I mean, he's already dead. You know what I'm saying? You don't want it bad news at all. But I'm just hoping that it doesn't get worse, I guess is what I'm saying.
Rest in peace, Teddy Ray. Hopefully, we figure out what happened. Sounds like, maybe a little more to it. Hopefully, Brad keep us, up in the loop.
You just gonna give me that responsibility.
Hey, that's your follow up for sure. Like, hey,
Here you go.
I'm sad that I don't know it because I'm pretty sure he looked like he probably like funny between who is it, Ari Spears and Lavelle Crawford. Like he looked like he probably like in between them two are funny just by looking at it.
Bro, he's funny and just like conversation funny. I had to find some of his stand up. I found like one of his short stand ups on YouTube and I'll send it to you, bro. He's just like in just regular stand up, he's funny.
I'm surprised you ain't sent me something just in all the stuff we didn't send each other. You may have though.
So you saying you don't be reading my messages when I send it to you?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, when the last time you sent me something comedy?
You just dry snitch on yourself like that, bro?
Nah, I'm saying you may have, but this shit may have been 100 years ago too. Shit. I mean, you got to think our messages go back from like 2012.
Look, I had to scroll back 5 minutes to find the
right. Like I just did this right before it started. I said, damn, I know he sent this to me like just 5 hours ago. I felt like, but it seemed like 10 days ago when you started scrolling shit.
Man, we be in that chat. But yeah, man, rest in peace to the young king, man, for real. Which topic you want to hit next?
We can go ahead and talk about Mr. Donald. I like Mr. Donald though, to be honest.
The Trumpster.
Yeah.
All right, so about a week and a half ago, so on August 8th, the FBI searched his house, searched Mar-a-Lago, and they found 26 boxes of official White House records. Go ahead.
Hey, I mean, I'm pretty sure if they search a lot of government, ex-government, official houses, they probably find more than 26 boxes of official government records there too. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what did you just say?
I said I'm pretty sure if they look into any other official that is, have been in the White House, they probably find 26 boxes of government information. They all crooked. You know what I'm saying? Like it is kind of strange that he just, didn't know that it was there. You know what I mean? Like, but my question is, did they have a right to search his house? You know what I'm saying? In all honesty.
Yes, they had a warrant, a federally signed warrant.
Right, but I mean, just because you have a federally signed warrant, like
You
what
always come
warranted the
up some.
rights? Like
You
because
always
like
come up with some.
to me, like real talk, like why this man? Like why is they trying to even keep this man from running? Like what's why do they care? Like if they feel like he gonna lose, you know what I'm saying? Let the man lose.
You know what's crazy about stuff like that? So back in my cell phone days, I used to have this manager that he just couldn't do stuff the right way, and he would always say like, "Man, I just feel like you just picking on me. You always tell me about this. You always tell me about that," and I would always say to him, even if that was true, why are you still doing the wrong thing? If you got reason to believe. And you're wrong, but even if you have reason to believe that I'm trying to set you up, why would you help me with that? If you know that I'm coming into your store to inspect your results on the things that I've asked you to do, and I say I'm coming to your store on Friday at 1 o'clock, I put it on the calendar. I put it on your calendar, so you know for days up to a week in advance that I'm coming to your store on Friday at 1 o'clock to check you out. Why are you still doing the wrong thing? So like you could say that they want to set him up, so to speak, which ain't true. But even if it is, why are you stealing documents?
I mean, he can't win an election off of social media. So
but
I mean,
here's the crazy part.
Is he really? Well, did he have those documents when he was in office, or did he just acquire those documents? That's the question. Because how did he get the documents?
He took them when he left.
When he left
in January 2021, he took them with him. And here's the crazy part.
I mean, he had the right to have them at the time that he had them.
Wait. Because here's the craziest part. Here's the craziest part about it. He signed a law to make protecting federal documents even tougher. I'm forgetting the specific nature of it, but the whole like lock her up from the emails thing to Hillary Clinton in response to that in 2018, he made the law tougher on himself. He did this to himself.
So smarty dumb. Hey, Crystal said, "Are they copies or originals?" Though I'm with Crystal. You know what I mean? Like, let's figure out.
I would love for you to try to defend why making a copy of an official document would be safe.
Well, why wouldn't it be safe? It's a copy. It could. One could say that it has been refabricated from the original.
One could say
it's a copy.
One could say.
So who says it's actually the actual real document? So therefore, it may not have all the sensitive information on it.
So then, why would the judge approve a warrant?
Because they don't like him.
A federal judge that he likely appointed.
I wouldn't say he likely appointed. It may have been somebody else. Because there's a conflict of interest there. So I'm pretty sure they would have to recuse themselves, you know what I'm saying, from being able to make that judgment, because of the fact that if they did make it in the opposite direction, they're automatically going to be ridiculed. And there's going to be this mistrial or presumption that there wasn't fair. So then somebody else will come back and set the warrant anyway, like, well, they didn't have the right to really speak.
You know what? Let me make your argument for you, because you're doing terrible right now, bro. I love you, but you're doing terrible right now.
How am I doing terrible? I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Let me make your argument for you. Let me make your argument for you. DOJ, what's the guy's name? I'm blanking on it. Merrick Garland. He gets up. He makes the press conference to say, "I approve this search warrant to be taken to I approve, issuing the search warrant or getting this or going after the search warrant, whatever." And then he said, "Hey, we need to release this information. So that people can know why we wanted to go after a former president." Right? and then said the ball's in your court. Essentially, he said, "Hey, if you object to it, we'll give you some time to object to us, putting this out there." And then Trump didn't object to it. He did the warrant. He didn't object to having the warrant unsealed for the public. But then, after Trump did not object to having the warrant unsealed, Merrick Garland came back and said, wait. Maybe we shouldn't do this because we don't want our witnesses.
Because, see, he's not as dumb as what we playing for, because he knows that there's something in there that, okay, let's show it to the public.
This is the argument that you needed to be trying to make, not trying to say, well, is it really?
Listen, because here's the thing, like, and this is just, my take on it, but I don't take everything that comes from anything dealing with the White House, at its face value. Sorry. They all liars, crooks, thieves, murderers.
Murderers?
Oh, yeah, they killing folks. Stop that. They're making decisions. Think about it, bro.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
They're making decisions on things that literally has a consequence on this end or this end. I mean, let's look at it in its simplest form right now, since we were earlier talking about women's basketball and now we're talking about politics. Look at Brittany Griner and who they wanted for her. You're literally a murderer if you know what I'm saying, give this man up and let him go free. You just basically killed folks for a WNBA star. When you think about it, decisions they made holds life and death. They're murderers. Plain and simple.
I don't see how you can make the jump into murderer from there, but I get what you're trying to say.
I'm not lying.
Listen.
Look, you don't want to walk that line is what it is. It's like you want to stay.
Nah, it's a wild. Boy, you making that Olympic jump right there. You jumping like LeBron James. You ain't doing no WNBA jumps. That's what you got going on right there. Man, I mean, we'll see what happens, because now I'm trying to find some more updated information. I really couldn't find it, but it sounds like the judge really wants it to just all be unsealed, and it could be they're concerned about the witnesses. I don't know. I just feel like the Democrats in general are like the literal definition of you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. How you gonna say, hey, square up, and then Trump square up, and then you like, you know what? We should be more peaceful. If you just shouldn't have said that. If you didn't really want to have it all out there, you shouldn't have said, hey, I'm gonna put it all out there, because now everybody wants it out there.
But that was what he was trying to do anyway. I think, you know what I'm saying, like he wanted it to be out. That was the whole take, so that the public could see what was going on. They thought he was just gonna bitch up and be like, nah, we ain't gonna do all that. Knowing that he's the asshole he is, he doesn't care what you think about him, what you see that he did. So in the nutshell, they should have never said that, because it's like he's really baiting you into his game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, and then it gets people like you who's like, well, now you can't take it back off the table because we want to know. You know what I'm saying? So now they in a catch-22. So what will they do? You know what I'm saying? Now will they redact them like Crystal said and, black out some things that could be a threat to national security? But who knows that it's a threat to national security?
AB, you wild for that one. AB said, how can you break a man who buried his wife on the golf course for a tax break? You can't.
Bruh, he really don't care.
Man, well, listen, I can dog out Trump all day, but let's move on, man. What do you want to hit next?
We'll do, you know what I'm saying, we'll get the controversy out the way with Arkansas and the sheriff's department.
Ain't no controversy out the way.
I mean, well, here's the thing, though. You know what I'm saying? For once, it wasn't a black man, from what, you know what I'm saying, I get out the video. So,
yeah. So
but it's still wrong.
I haven't seen anything beyond the video, but basically, Naomi Johnson, and I will share the link on the in the comments. I'm sorry, not in the comment. Yeah, I'll share it in the comments. I'll share the link in the comments for live listeners. I will share it on the podcast notes for the audio listeners. It's a video from Twitter. The person's name is Naomi Johnson. There's these 3 cops beating the absolute hell out of a man. I mean, it is heinous. So if you decide to watch this video, please watch it with caution. It is absolutely heinous. They are beating this guy. I mean, you're talking punches in the head, kick, knees to the ribs. It's graphic. And there's someone watching, or there's someone recording them. And then as it starts to get, even more violent, the person recorded them, basically says like, "Hey, you guys can't beat him like that." And I should say that the guy is on the ground. On the ground, he's being held. He's bleeding. He's being held down by one man, and he's getting the life beat out of him by another 2.
Kicked in the knee, punched in the face at the same time.
Pounded in the face, picked up, and what happened was one guy kind of picked him up by his shoulders and banged his head on the ground. And then that's when the person recording the video says, "Hey, you can't do that." And then suddenly the cops begin to just try to restrain him, like a human being, and not beating him lifeless.
Hey, I feel like there should be a different, I don't know if it's a different training that's gonna work or protocol at this point. But the one thing I will say, because something does need to change, but I'm still not convinced that I would want the military in place of them either. You know what I mean? So I think we need to just figure a way to be able to hold them accountable, to have a standard across the board, to be able to, try to curve the brutality that you see, the police force. Because I'm not going to say, everything that they do is brutality. Some shit, is deserving and needed. But at the same time, it's shit like this that isn't. And, police officers or sheriffs can say, well, y'all see the one video out of millions of situations in everyday life that we deal with or have to come across. But at the same time, they shouldn't be able to take all situations that they come across that may need, that type of force in every situation. They got to be able to address a situation with a sound mind each time. Because sometimes one of those responding officers to that situation might have just been leaving another situation where they was trying to restrain and do, and now they wore out and tired. Like, look, I ain't finna do this twice. I'm gonna just whoop your ass and get it over with. I agree. They do need to be held to higher standards. I think there need to be a higher level of training. You know what I mean? I think, they should be putting probably more situational drills for advanced training or, further training after you're already in yearly or quarterly or whatever that helps with the day-to-day situations. But, doing 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever it is at an academy and coming out in the force and not really seeing training besides bookwork training, maybe a few hands-on seminars if they changing, taser procedures or, macing procedures or what have you, that might be the only time. And then it's short. It's not going to be in detailed training. It's going to be kind of like being in the cell phone or the car business. It's going to be more of a departmental group training where we bring you to a place, we're going to go over some slides, tell you about some situations and move on. And that's not enough.
It's so, the problem really is that it's different where you go. And so what happens is what happens is that different departments have different standards and have different levels of leadership, right? I know police officers. I have family
Yep.
that
Me
are
too.
police officers. My cousin, um, I have a cousin who retired after serving for, I want to say, 25 or 30 years. I have a cousin that's active now. I have never, I don't want to say never, but growing up, in Detroit, I never had bad interactions with police officers. Um, you know, um, the couple times I've been pulled over, I've been fortunate to where I've never had a bad interaction with an officer in those settings.
Real
But
quick,
go ahead.
not to interrupt you,
I
but
was gonna get. I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that.
I well, no, I wanted to ask you,
Okay.
um, because you're in a more urbanized area. So, uh, did you see more black officers in Detroit than you do white officers?
When I was when I lived in Detroit as a child, I can only remember. I can only primarily remember seeing black officers, and part of the reason behind that is when I was in high school, we had police officers that would hang out at the school in the morning as we came in, and at the end of the day as we got out of school. I mean, nothing ever happened. I think they were just more so there. Just their presence was to be peaceful, um, and
Mm-hmm.
and they were black. And then I used to hang out at the community center, and the community center was a mini police station, so to speak. There was one police officer that would be there, um, typically out of uniform. It was just kind of there, and really just kind of had an office job at that point. So yeah, I mean, mostly black in my area. Growing up in the city of Detroit, and to your point, the one the one bad interaction that I had with a police officer was an off-duty police officer who was white.
Well, and I was just, what I'm saying, I wasn't really making a point, but I was just trying to see the difference in the areas, just because I was curious if the, different experience you had with them was because maybe they were black versus being white, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Uh,
I've been pulled over 3 times. Two, I was speeding. Oh, 4 times. 5 times. I'm sorry.
Sound like you trying to remember the amount of people you slept with.
hey,
Shit.
hey, 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 we ain't gonna talk about what's happening. No,
Oh shit.
the first time I got a ticket, I was speeding. The guy was probably biracial. I was speeding. He gave me a ticket. That was the end of the day. Um, second time I got a ticket, I was speeding. It's a spot in Taylor, Michigan, where it's a Gardner White. You go up under the bridge. The guy's waiting on you at the top of the bridge, just pulling you over. He got me that one time. Never got me again. I actually have had another bad interaction with a police officer that was on duty. It was semi bad. He pulled me over. It was stupid. I'll tell the story. This is back in my cell phone days. I was driving. I was taking inventory from one store to another. I was leaving Taylor, Michigan, going to Southgate, Michigan, and at the border, there's a Burger King. I could see the police officer hanging out in the Burger King. Now I'm moving. I'm moving westbound, and on the eastern side of the street is the police officer in the Burger King. And I see him pull somebody else over. I'm like, okay, they own it today. All right, so I know to make sure that I'm driving the right way and doing everything the right way when I come back, because I got to go back to my store in Taylor. So I'm at the light. I'm crossing over into Taylor from Southgate. Sure enough as hell, I see him in the Burger King parking lot. I get across the street, pulls me over. I know I got my hands on 10 and 2. I ain't did nothing wrong, right? I'm
Probably looked
like,
so square. He had to check you out still.
bruh, check this out. Check this out. This is when I had my old cell phone job. I'm driving a Prius.
I already
Like,
know what you. They thought you stealing phones.
listen. So anyway, what happens is, he pulls me over and says, "You ran a red light." No, I didn't. Yeah, you ran a red light. I just saw you. No, I didn't. Goes, well, you ran a red light. Let me get your license and registration. So I give him my license, and I give him my company car's registration. Goes to the car, obviously runs the plate, comes back and says, hey, check this out. He says to me, well, so what happened was when you were in Southgate, you did not run a red light. But by the time you crossed over to Taylor, the light was red, and therefore you ran a red light, and that's why I pulled you over. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, but I'll just let you off with a warning. That'll be enough. That'll be, but that's, yeah.
It's practical. I mean, I've been pulled over a lot of times for a lot of different reasons, and you know, for the most part,
Well, they looked at you, was like, yeah, he got it. No, I was playing.
not well. And see, that's the thing. Like for the most part, I have signifiers that says I'm legit. You know what I'm saying? More than being legit. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a carry concealed weapon permit, you can't be any type of criminal. You know what I mean? You have to be considered an upstanding citizen.
Right.
So when you pull over, you know what I'm saying, someone like me and is saying, hey, he may have a firearm on him legally, it changes perspectives.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I get pulled over and they say he got a Class A CDLs, ain't nobody out here risking their livelihood, you know what I mean, to be acting dumb in the car or having things with them that, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't turn out well.
Right.
So they don't tend to bother you as much, you know what I mean? Versus not having certain signifiers that says, hey, I'm cool, I'm legit. So
yeah.
I mean I get it, but yeah, I don't know how to solve that issue really. I don't know if diversifying the task force, if that'll help. I don't know if the extra training is gonna make the difference. It's hard to say.
I think that what we have to accept is that we're at a point where there's probably everything that we just talked about needs to be done and more.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a total reform on the idea, and I don't know that means defunding the police and not having a police force altogether. I don't think that that's what that means.
No, before I see defunding the police, I tell you what I would want to see. I would want to see my people being okay with having a job that take care of their family inside of the task force, wherever it is, whether it's police, state trooper, you know what I'm saying? That's what I would like to see, because I think part of the issue is we don't have enough representation inside of these task force. You know what I'm saying? And that makes a huge difference, as you said, because some of your okay or best interactions was with officers that looked like you.
So, and I agree that we need the diversity and we need that, but it's easy to say that in cities like Detroit and the surrounding areas of Detroit. What about Sandusky, Ohio? What about?
Okay, in Sandusky, Ohio, you still can use us there.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that's.
But what I'm saying is that when you have certain areas that, because of just the way that area it is, where it's 98% white, like.
But it's really not. It's very mixed in Sandusky. I
shouldn't have used Sandusky.
But I know what you're saying. But in those areas, you would see it more like it is now. You know what I'm saying? You would expect to see it more like it is now, because.
But that's not okay.
Here's the thing: when the ratio works out, it is, because the thing is, how do you expect to see somebody where they really don't live? A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a lot of people that just works where they don't live. You know what I'm saying? Like most people find a job rather, you know what I'm saying, within at least 30 minutes of their house. You know what I'm saying? The average person.
Okay.
People working outside of where they live, you know what I'm saying, is just not, you know what I'm saying, big. So therefore, if you're in a place that's 98% of a culture, then you should see more of that culture there policing that area.
Right. But
You
what
know what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying,
Of that lives there. That, you
no,
know what I'm saying, of from there.
but if I'm driving through town for whatever reason, right? I have a job where I travel, I go to different locations every single day,
Right.
right? I should feel just as secure in Detroit as I do in any other small town in this country.
And you do. You do. But see, a lot of times you not feeling secure wasn't because of you. It was because of what you may have seen or somebody else heard or talking to somebody before you went there. Because of you and who you are and the way you carry yourself, you're not generally scared of any part of town that you're in because you usually don't bring that type of stuff to you. Now, I get you could be a one-off situation anywhere, but the chances of it happening to you because of the way you carry yourself, the way that you are, you know what I'm saying, the people that you keep around you, the chances are slim.
I understand the specificity of me as Bradley, but when I say me, I mean me in general. When I say me, I mean me as in Fred, me as in
Fred
Bob,
don't I
me
don't
as in
I don't feel no
Frank.
pressure anywhere else, but I get what you're saying and I understand that. But what I'm saying is it only, you know what I'm saying, bothers the person of who you are. You know what I'm saying? You attract what you are or the type of people that you keep around you. So you only have that fear because of your what would you say your I don't want to
See,
say your background, but your, you know what I'm saying, your what how did your environment. You know what I'm
see,
saying? Like that's more so like you can say what you want, but the truth of it is really gonna be, you know what I'm saying, you feeling a certain way because of the environment that you're used to being in. If you're used to running from the police, if you're used to not trusting them, if you're used to having bad dealings with them, 9 times out of 10, you're going to bring that energy to the situation. And that's what it's going to be.
but see, this is where I'm disagreeing with you at. I don't fear nothing, right?
Right.
But if I'm in the middle of nowhere and some racist cop pulls me over and wants to handle it in the way a racist cop would handle it, I'm still screwed.
And I get where you're coming from, but I'm going to use a real life experience. So, all right. I'm I'm gonna tell you like this. This was back in my days, you know what I'm saying, of not being on the more righteous side of the line. So you know what I'm saying, was a pothead that, you know what I mean, I'm coming through. I'm at home and on my way back, you know what I'm saying, to my home, I was getting ready to go buy me some, you know what I'm saying, some weed. And I already had some weed on me because, you know, I'm a pothead. I smoke. I smoke on the ride the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. I'm coming through the side of town in Dayton, Ohio. I'm not from here. So they, you know what I'm saying, come to find out it's a big known drug area. I was in a rental car. And I kid you not, I see the officer at the corner. And as I'm passing by, I give him a head nod because who I am, I'm not scared. I have a Class A CDLs, you know what I'm saying? I, you know what I'm saying, have a CCWs. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to bother me. But what he saw was a young black man at the time in a 2012, 2013, you know what I'm saying, Yukon, driving through a well-known drug area. And
I might know the story.
no, I don't know if I shared this with you, but you might. But I'm coming through this area, and I kid you not, I get to a light. I'm not from here. My tag say I'm in a rental. This road, it basically connects to another road that goes straight. So the light was, of course, turning red, and I just kind of took the bend and turned. I didn't signal. So he whoops me. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Hey, you didn't signal." I said, "Well, hey, I didn't see a need because I took a bend instead of a turn." You know what I'm saying? He said, "You know what? I can see how you know what I'm saying? You can see that." And I was like, he was like, "But, let me get your license and registration." I give it to him. So once I give it to him, he's like, "What are you doing over here?" Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I lied. I seen a barbecue joint, you know what I'm saying, up right diagonal from me. I said, I was just coming off the highway. I was looking for something to eat, looking for some barbecue, and GPS was bringing me over here to this barbecue. He said, "Well, it's closed today." I said, "Well, I didn't know that, sir. As you can see, I'm not from here. I was just trying to get some barbecue for lunchtime. I just got done, you know what I'm saying, doing some construction work. You can see all my tools and my pecs and plumbing and all that in the back of the, you know what I'm saying, truck." And he was like, "I see the tools and stuff." He said, "But yeah, they closed." He said, "But yeah, they probably some of the best barbecue in town, to be honest with you." I was like, "Well, I was trying to get some." He said, "Well, you mind stepping out the car?" "Excuse me?" "Stepping out the car?" He said, "Yeah, can you step out the car?" So I stepped out. I get out, get to the back. He said, "So, we've been talking and whatnot, and I just don't know why you're here. It's a big drug area." I said, "Well, I gave you everything while I was here. I was doing construction work. You know what I'm saying? I came off the side of the highway on my way back home to get some barbecue. You saying they closed, something I didn't know. Now you tell me I'm in a known drug area." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, do you mind if I search the car?" I said, "Listen," I said, "at this point now you're starting to make me nervous." I said, "I've did more than cooperated. You've ran my name and my license. I've came back clear. I know this. I have a Class A CDLs. I don't get in trouble or do no wrong." I said, "I've been more than cooperative." And I said, "The reason I'm nervous is because now I'm outside of my truck for an improper use of a turn signal. That is a ticket at its best. And now you're talking about searching my vehicle, all because I'm in the wrong neighborhood." I said, "Nah." I said, "I cooperated already enough. I'm not cooperating no more." Before I know it, he cancels his dogs that he called because he getting ready to try to go through the vehicle. Yeah, he would have got something, but personally, you know what I'm saying, I didn't feel in no type of threat until I was out of my car. But that's a one-off situation. That's not usually my situation with the cops. All because I was in the wrong area at the wrong time. I didn't have to bring that energy upon myself. I didn't have to feel like I was going to be in a situation. 9 times out of 10, when that happens, is because of who you are. And even if you do wound up in that situation, generally, you're going to talk or walk yourself back out the situation because of who you are. Because the average person who gets in a situation where that situation turns different from that I just explained, it's something about, "Oh, why the fuck you got me outside my car? Oh, why the fuck you checking my shit? Nah, motherfucker, you ain't checking my shit." Well, now you got an issue. And I'm not even saying as a culture person, I've seen every color and race do this same thing I'm talking about. And end up being in a situation where they getting beat up on the side of the road by an officer because of what they brought to themselves because of their environment. I'm not saying you wrong on saying that you shouldn't feel safe, but I feel safe everywhere I go, anywhere in America.
I mean, I hear you, bro, but you literally just told me that you got harassed for no reason. I
I
mean,
got
maybe.
harassed, but what I'm saying was I wasn't nervous or feeling like I should be getting harassed. Bruh, I see fiends and, you know what I'm saying, folks that look like me all up and down the street. You know what I'm saying? This is a normal neighborhood that I've been comfortable visiting types in different cities all my life.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, and we got to move on. But what I'm saying is that because of stories like yours, people do need to be concerned when they go into certain areas.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say be concerned. I feel like, I mean, this is where we're going to agree to disagree, but I feel like a lot of that is brought up upon the person and who they are and the environment that they used to. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, this last point I'm gonna make, but at the same time, right now I work for U-Haul. I work out in Kentucky. It, there's some sticks out here that, you know what I'm saying, white folks, black folks, I don't care who gonna tell you, I wouldn't go around them parts. You know what I'm saying? Like just straight up. And I'm talking, I'm pulling in town and boy, I'm getting a look through the vehicle. Who in that? Ain't let a nigga ride up in here one of these. Like straight up. My dad called me before I leave. Hey, you got your thumper with you? Stick, boy. I done been all through this state. You know what I'm saying? You don't go without your friend. And I generally wouldn't take it. I've been to these cities and stuff plenty of times before and never brought it. But I talked to my dad before I leave, and he like, just be safe. Oh, let me go ahead and grab it. I'm bringing that energy upon myself. I wasn't worried before I was getting ready to go to that same exact area until I got that phone call from my environment that said, hey, you know what I'm saying, watch your six, be careful. You know what I'm saying, don't trust them. But these same folks ain't did me no wrong or gave me no reason not to.
I feel it, bro. I hear you. We gonna
move on. We're gonna disagree. Agree to disagree on one. You know what I mean?
So this one, and we're getting right about an hour, so we'll probably tap out after this one. But we got a black couple suing after the home evaluation rises nearly $300,000 when they had the white homie show it. Did you get to see the story?
You didn't send me a link to the actual story, but I've actually seen that. And I think it's happened in a few different scenarios. It's becoming a more common thing that people are figuring out.
Yeah, man.
So, I don't think the story is going to make much of a difference who it is. But it sounded like there was a black couple that had their house appraised. They're appraised for like $350,000, almost $400,000.
$470,000.
And the bank would not finance them or refinance them. I can't remember the specifics, but basically the bank wouldn't give them any money on the house. Turned around and had a white friend, show the same house. It doubled for $700-something thousand, and the bank would finance it. And so now they're suing. But this is a common practice. I hate to say it, but we all know it. You know what I'm saying? It's on us to change the trajectory, you know what I'm saying, in that aspect, in that field, by putting ourselves or making ourselves more knowledgeable. Yeah, and part of showing the houses, you know what I'm saying, you can't control that, somebody who the appraiser seen you and said, oh, they're black. But if you know this is the situation, why keep, putting yourself in that situation? Have somebody else show the house to the appraiser from the gate. No, you shouldn't have to, but we know what it is.
But
I mean, it sucks, bro. But what else?
You
shouldn't have to, but you do. It's reality. So what?
I don't know if "so what" is the word. It's what you want to say.
Well, because like in these situations, this is what and this is me personally, but this is what I hate in these situations. I feel like sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we take the quality aspect of it and, you know what I'm saying, we go too far. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't gonna be even Steven. You know what I'm saying? What's good for you ain't gonna be good for the next. Everybody's not gonna get that same exact, you know what I mean? As long as it's in the ballpark, ain't much to complain about. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we gotta change, you know what I'm saying, the way we do things, the way we approach things. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now, I'm gonna disagree with you. Instead of just saying like, I just need to give me a white person on deck, I'm gonna disagree with you. We need situations like this to fully highlight the blatant racism and the blatant racist acts that are within our system, that we have laws that say no, all of us are allowed to have equal access to housing and all of that nature, right? So where you're saying like it just is what it is, we can't continue to live with that. It just is what it is. We have to go through this type of BS so that future generations can go through it less often. We needed people like Dr. King and Malcolm X to fight for civil rights so that way you can comfortably walk up and down the street in Kentucky and not worry about, being segregated and taking your kids to segregated schools and things of that nature.
Listen, and I'm only saying this, you know what I'm saying, because I love you, bro. But what are you gonna do about it? The laws is there, so what? What you gonna do about it?
Sue. That is what you do.
And you're not gonna win. You may, one out of every 50, 100, 100,000 may win. What are you gonna do about it? What are we as people gonna do? That's the issue that I have, and that's why I say so what? Because we're not gonna do shit about it. The laws have been there. The situation has been there. It's been blatantly recognized, and we're not gonna do shit about it. So we can talk all this, oh, we should have equal access. No, we should just change the trajectory by playing the game the way it goes, because we're not going to do a damn thing. We're going to talk shit all goddamn day. We're going to get on podcasts. We're going to do all of this here, and it's not going to change shit. I hate to say it, but this is why I can't get in those conversations with people, because we're not going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say, you know what I'm saying? I said this, and I think I said it to you, Bradley. I don't know if it was a George Floyd incident or at one of those incidents we had talked one time. I said, nobody called me until they ready to kill shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not ready to lose your life behind it, then shut the fuck up. Play the game how it goes, because you're not going to change shit. If you're not willing to die behind what it is that you're willing to stand for, then there's no point in talking about it.
I was gonna let you cook.
I mean, it ain't really, it ain't nothing to really cook about. You know what I'm saying? It's the reality to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I heard one of the Minister Farrakhan people was saying this something similar to what I was just saying, but you know what I'm saying? I've heard other people say, you know what I'm saying, not even just in a biblical aspect, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? That if you take it back to, you know what I'm saying, anything that somebody fought for to change something, folks died behind it. And they was willing to change it. If you're not willing to, there's nothing to talk about. Even if you are willing to, the ones who are willing to aren't really going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna come up with what it is it's supposed to be came up with, and the rest is gonna get handled. Other than that, and that's why I say, play the game how it goes. It's a fucked up system. The rules is there, the laws is there, but nothing ever changes. Okay, somebody get found guilty. Okay, somebody sues and win money. Okay, what does it change? It changes one person. One person can't make the whole thing change. That's why they don't mind, okay, if you want to go to court about it. And then the other part to it is, when you talk about sue, it takes money to sue. I hate when folks say sue. It's very few lawsuits you're going to get pro bono. So do you got the money to prove a point? Because that's what it becomes then at that point. When you want to sue, do you? My business law teacher said it best. Proving the point don't pay the bills. You're right. Yeah, you have a suit. Yeah, you can win. But is it gonna pay the bills?
I get where you're coming from, but it doesn't. Not everybody needs to be able to die to make change.
Not everybody does need to die, but everybody got to understand that you can't control who's the one gonna die. So in order to band together, everybody has to have the same mind state that I'm willing to die. It's a difference.
So when you say I'm willing to die, I
It's
guess
it's the same thing. Okay, let's take it outside of the realm of this and just say, when you look at a business that you're trying to start up from the ground up because you're tired of working for your employer, are you willing to die behind what it takes to get there? Meaning, are you willing to work days and nights sleeplessly to get there? Are you willing to go broke to get there? Are you willing to, you know what I'm saying, cut out any social status or any extra activity? Are you willing to essentially die to get what it is that you want? That's the only way you're going to make those changes and those sacrifices. If you can change that mind thought. If not,
see, I agree that you need those that are militant. So to go back to what I was saying earlier, everybody loves and praises Dr. King. There's a Dr. King Day, but Dr. King isn't effective without a Malcolm X. So for every Malcolm X that's saying, hey, the revolution will not be televised, you need a Dr. King to say, I have a dream.
Listen, I mean, it's cool to have a dream.
Be careful, bro. Don't get us canceled.
I'm not, but I'm saying he had a dream, but how much action besides marching and protesting, how much action did he put behind it? No, I'm not saying he didn't do anything. I'm trying to get to the point of, like, let's just skip the bullshit. Was he willing to die behind his dream?
He did.
Exactly, bro. Hey, bro, was Muhammad Ali willing to die behind his dream?
But wait a minute.
Was Malcolm X willing to die behind his dream?
But when you say willing to die, like, and you use it towards Martin Luther King, that's a totally different thing. Because Martin Luther King advocated for peace. He advocated for conversations. He died because he was assassinated.
Hey, did okay, so you telling me Martin Luther King advocated for all this shit? I'm almost certain. I know the black people today. So I can imagine the black people back then. The first time that motherfucker told somebody he had a dream, that motherfucker said, shut the fuck up before you get us all killed with your dumb ass.
The views and opinions.
Listen,
my friend.
I'm just being honest. How many people back then told him, you gonna get us killed, nigga? Shut up. We living okay. It ain't the best, but damn. He said, nah, the world need to know this. And some folks stood behind him because he was willing to die. He was confident that whether they killed me or not, I had to make sure that I scream and shouted this any and everywhere I went. The highways and byways, wherever. I mean, however you want to slice that pie. He knew for a fact that they was going to kill his black ass. But before he died, he knew he was going to get his point across. And that's what he was willing to die about, bro.
You getting loose with your willing to die definition, but I'm with you.
I mean, you can say what you want, but that man lost his life.
He did.
Tell me it wasn't because he was cheating. He was, but shit, he ain't white.
Man, you know what? Tell these folks where they can find you on social media.
Man, you can find me at Fred Scott shit or Mr. Dot Humble underscore beginnings,
Y'all,
whatever.
the shit ain't in his name. It's just Fred Scott.
Hey, but nah, you might as well go ahead and tap on Deshaun. That one ain't gonna be long. Shit, the
Man,
people
it might
they
be long.
here,
We already
they
at an
loving
hour and
us.
5 minutes. All right, forget it.
They
All right.
loving us. It's all
So,
good.
Deshaun Watson, y'all know him. Cleveland. I almost said Cleveland Cavaliers. Woo.
About to fuck that up.
Cleveland Browns quarterback. He was originally suspended for, I believe it was 5 games or 6 games, with a $1 million fine. And the NFL said, nah, that ain't gonna work. Nah. And then so they settled it. So now he'll get suspended for 11 games. He'll pay $5 million. And assuming everything goes according to plan, his first game back will be in Houston, where
Allegations came from.
where all those allegations came from. So he's been accused of essentially sexual misconduct by 24 women, and he settled the cases with 20 of them as of my last check. This has been going on since last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been messy.
Most of them are. Look at R. Kelly's.
Man, we do not need to bring him into this. What's your thoughts on Deshaun?
Well,
And the suspension in general.
here's the thing, and I'm gonna be totally honest in this situation, but the suspension, the money, fines, whatever you want to call it, the slaps on the wrist, you know what I mean? That's all for face value for people who's watching to be content to say, oh, they care, or they did something about it. You think them motherfuckers give a fuck? I mean, just being honest. You think them folks that had to make them decision, if nobody said nothing about it, I'm sorry to the 24 ladies, but you know what I'm saying? All right, Crystal, appreciate you for tapping in with us. But you really think, bro, they don't care? I hate to say it that way, but them folks in them offices don't care. They preferred that nobody even cared or gave this story that much attention, so he could have got a 3-game suspension with probably $500,000 and back on the field to make them some money.
I'm a disagree with you a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
I'm sure that some of these billionaire owners don't care. I don't know that I can necessarily throw that blame on all of the owners. I don't think that we can throw that blame on many of the women that work throughout these organizations. I certainly don't think that we can throw that blame on the millions and millions of NFL fans. And I think that's your point, is that a lot of the fans probably care. And I think you're saying the owners in general don't.
I'm going to tell you like this. If there was an owner that cared, it may be from Houston and, Deshaun's new team.
The Cleveland Browns.
Hey, listen, they known to have some inmate type folks anyway. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Like, just real talk. And that's only because of the bad publicity it brings the organizations. You know what I'm saying? That it says to the people that works within the organizations. But I'm almost willing to bet if anybody within the organization that's making $1 million or better, it ain't phasing their money. They not tripping.
See, but that's the thing. It can phase their money though.
Because, like I said, it's only because of the bad publicity that it could bring the face of the organization. We all know if the bad publicity comes to the organization lose money. The organization lose money, then you know what I'm saying.
I think that's true for a general business. The thing is that the NFL works on a collective bargaining agreement, so bad publicity hurts the entire league.
It really doesn't. Like I get where you're coming from, but it doesn't hurt the entire league. You know what I'm saying? We hold each team accountable, you know what I'm saying, to their own bullshit.
Well, no, no,
As
no, no, no.
fans, as people, yes, the NFL, you know what I'm saying, is mentioned, but it's not hurting the overall brand of the NFL as much as it hurt the teams.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me make this clear. When it comes to ticket sales, it hurts the team. When it comes to TV viewerships, it hurts the league and mostly the players from that perspective.
Bro, they ain't losing that many views. And
Now,
I'm only saying that because
now you're probably right about that.
they're not. So you can't even say like it's really hurting the viewership because the amount of views that they lose is minute to, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking the amount of money they're still bringing in from the views. Like it's here's the craziest thing. When it comes to players like these and whatnot in organizations like the NFL and, you know what I'm saying, NBA, they're not, you know what I'm saying, going to be crucified and held to the same as, you know what I'm saying, a more individual star. And generally it's crazy, but they get to hold all their, you know what I'm saying, findings and whatnot amongst them and make a decision amongst them versus individual stars usually get drug out into the public and, you know what I'm saying, tried unless you commit a murder or something, you know, do some Ray Caruso type shit or something, you know what I mean? Then
Well, to be more clear, when you have bad publicity, the people that hurts are not the stars that we know. It's not going to really hurt Tom Brady. It's not going to hurt
nah.
LeBron James. It's the guys that are at the end of the bench. Those are the guys that get hurt financially from stuff like this. So I mean, man, it's an ugly situation.
It is. I mean, to me, they should still, you know what I'm saying, be held accountable to some degree, you know what I mean, because they are, you know, a celebrity. They are, you know what I'm saying, part of a different, I guess, group that, you know, should be held to a higher standard. And for them to be in these situations so many times is what is mind boggling to me. You know what I mean? I guess you can't control a person, but
Like
to me, it's
are you
just
saying like the NFL in general?
NFL. I mean, NBA, just like some of the stuff you see these players get into, to me, it's like, how is that happening so much? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no accountability system, there's no brother system.
Well,
Like,
you see it more in the NFL than you do in the NBA.
yeah, most
And,
definitely.
and granted, like the NFL does have technically it has more teams. It's 32 versus 30, but there's more players in it on an NFL team. I think an active roster has 53 guys. I think
Yeah.
that's the number.
53 or 55, something like that.
Versus an NBA team has 15 guys, right? Yeah. So you have more bodies in there. You're more likely to run into different types of people doing different things, all that kind of stuff, blah blah blah, right? But also there's a level of accountability, right? The NBA is more socially conscious, so to speak, right? I mean, I'm just thinking about the 2020 bubble where they all had like different messages on the back of their jerseys. They made it to where the NBA arenas were used as like voting centers on election day in 2020, stuff like that. Like they made it like the NBA just does more socially conscious things than NFL does. NFL's like breast cancer awareness and and that's about the extent of it. But I think it's also from the fans. I mean, basketball, and I feel like we've talked about this a little bit. I don't know if it made it on there. Basketball is essentially a sport that's basically dominated by black men. Um, Football is not really a stars league; it's more of a teams league, and the star is the quarterback, and star quarterbacks are typically white men.
Yeah.
And so because of that, this country being predominantly white and American football being an American-born sport, it's got the perfect recipe to breed popularity, so to speak. And I mean, it just, I just have to say it. White people don't be caring about social issues a lot of times. Not all the times, but a lot.
Unless it affect them, they generally don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, views and opinions expressed by Brad don't necessarily.
Hey, listen. You can say that, but eventually they're gonna put 2 and 2 together. We is what's happening. So
Hey.
Hey, but that's the good thing about having a podcast, to be able to express your views freely. And if people don't like it, it'll be okay. Tune into the next episode.
So where can they find you at again without the shit part?
I don't know. You're going to have to do it. You better than me. Is that what you say? I can tell you, Fred Scott, Facebook. That's it.
Mr. Humble_beginnings on Instagram. I'm Brad Robinson 86 on Twitter. I'm Brad Robinson 1986 on Instagram, TikTok, and what's the other one? Facebook. There we go. Follow the show at Whus Hattnin on all socials. Give us a 5-star rating in your podcast app. Write a review. Share the show out to tell friends about us and help us grow this. And we will see y'all next week.
Appreciate you, Frank, for stopping by for the first time. Appreciate the comments.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
everybody rocking with us. Whether you commented, just listened along, we definitely appreciate it. But we out. Peace.